Hello everyone, this is Steph with Sam Designs, and I'm going to show you today how you can reuse your frozen pizza circular cardboards. So I took this cute holiday paper, it's just striped, and traced around it, and I just cut that out, and so this was going to be my first layer. So basically for this, I used 2 frozen pizza cardboards, but I'm only using 1 right now for the first step. And I took a little bit of Mod Podge and put a good coat of Mod Podge on the first side, or one side anyway. And then I took the back of the scrapbook paper and put another coat on back of the scrapbook paper. And then I'm going to stick that on the top of the frozen pizza cardboard and stick that together. And the reason that you want to do 2 coats, you could get away with maybe 1, but I just feel like it seals better and then end up smoothing out at the end. But I just feel like when it has 2 coats, it just sticks better in the long run. So then I found these adorable, cute bags at Dollar Tree, and I grabbed one of them and one side and just cut out around the greenery there. And it was a perfect circle, and it fit really nice on top of this cardboard, so that way the edge of my holiday paper, the scrapbook paper behind it, was going to show through. And then I gave this coat a really good, or this side a really good coat of the Mod Podge, and then I turned it around and glued it to the front of the other piece of paper that's already there, the striped paper. And you can do this all while it's wet. So I just did step after step with this. Same with this step. I took another coat of Mod Podge and coated it all over the front, all over the sides, and then I put my paintbrush down and I smoothed it all with my fingers, because I feel this is the most effective way that you can get all the bubbles out. Because if you've ever worked with this before, especially with paper, the only way, you're just going to get bubbles. So I just very carefully smoothed it out, and a lot of the times the glue will come out. Smooth it out really good. I put it around the edges that maybe didn't have enough glue. You can go over it again with your paintbrush if you want. So while it's still wet, I took my cinnamon and I'm going to give it a little bit of a cinnamon rusting technique, because there's nothing I love more than a vintagey Christmas craft. So I did a little bit of cinnamon in different spots, and then once you sprinkle the cinnamon around the edges where the rust would naturally fall, I took my paintbrush again while it was still wet and put a little bit more Mod Podge around it, because I wanted it to stick on there and stay in place. And once that was done, you can kind of put it all over the front of the sign if you want, or in different parts wherever you want it. And once it was completely dry, I took my second cardboard from the pizza and I just took my glue gun, made sure it's hot and ready, and glued quick all over the back of the other side. And the reason I did this is because when that first part dried, it started to bend a little bit. So this second part was just to give the sign stability. As you can see, it's straight and it's perfect. And it's important that you do that second step after the first part dries. So then I found this cute ring of beads from Dollar Tree. I've been dying to use this somewhere, and I just love this. And I thought it would be cute to accent this sign and give it a little bit more of a 3-dimensional look. And I love the bead because it held the sign in place a little bit and covered up that cut edge, and it just really kind of made the sign. And then I took my greenery. I had some artificial greenery laying around, and I took some different evergreens in this lighter pale holiday leaf, and I took my wire cutter and I just played with it a little bit, cut up the different pieces, see what was going to fit and see what worked. And this I really thought just topped off the sign. I did it on the top. I didn't know what I was going to go with, but I knew I wanted something at the top. Another cute idea that would be really cute is if you had some ribbon, and I only had like a burlap. I have a burlap and I have a buffalo plaid ribbon, but I just used this and I thought it was enough. So you could add a little bit of ribbon to the top, would be your other option, but I thought this was enough. And so I stuck the pieces in and glued them just to hold them in place. So I stuck them behind the beads, and then I took 2 of these poinsettias and put them to the front to give it a little bit of color. And the color of the sign and the color of the scrapbook paper behind it just fit all really well together. And what I love about these signs that we do is it's something that's so unique. It's something that looks like you can find somewhere at the store, but it really decorates up your interior. You could even put it on a front door, but the back side of a front door when you come in, if you have an entryway. I find so many places in the house to put these, and it's so festive with something that's not too much cost. So I have this pine cone as well. I thought that was neat. So you can kind of just play around with it and see what works. But a lot of this greenery I have laying around, so it just fit really well. And then once you're finished, you can glue any of these little pieces in place. And then I needed to you can either set it down, but I really wanted to hang it or have the option to hang it. So I just turned it around and I took my twine that I have on hand all the time because I use it quite often, tied it in a little knot because once I staple it to the back, I wanted it to be a little bit more stable. So I did that on both sides, and I took a flat stapler that comes in handy as well for some of these crafts or for wood crafts. And I did that to the other side, held it into place. This held really well on its own, but I wanted to secure it more. So I just took a little bit of glue while my glue gun was still hot and secured the back of it. And it is ready to be hung. The glue dried pretty quick for the beads, and I was so happy with the way it turned out. And there's a lot of different options for this if you go to Dollar Tree and find bags or Christmas bags you have left over to make signs. So I hope you can try one. Happy Christmas.